just a beautiful boat. I think she's got that kind of 80s, 90s modern look to her. There is a ton of space. This would also double as an office, and it's a place you can kind of get away. What's up, everyone? Today I'm excited to bring you a tour of a very unique 40-foot cruising yacht. You might actually be a bit familiar with this design if you're a fan of the YouTube channel Sail Life, as I am, but whether you are or not, you're in for a treat with this one. Designed by Bill Dixon, the Warrior 40 is meant to cruise oceans comfortably with a couple or family aboard. Stay tuned for the full in-depth tour so that you can see for yourself what sets the Warrior 40 apart from the rest of the cruising yachts of this size and vintage. Now, remember to do all the usual things, and without further ado, let's get to the tour. Stepping aboard, the first thing I notice is the ample beam of this boat, as well as the flush foredeck. You all know I love a good flush foredeck, as well as enough beam on a cruising boat. It's really important to have a good working deck. She's got nice wide side decks with good handholds all the way up to the mast, with granny bars there for safety as well. The coach roof is short, and that's a good thing, I think, for both style as well as safety. Past the mast and towards the bow, we come to the very clean, flush, working foredeck up here. A really nice deck, lots of ventilation with the hatches, and taking a look at the foredeck locker up here, it's a bit more than just a chain locker. You've got a little more space up here, so that's pretty nice. The windlass battery looks like it's stored up here as well, and obviously the anchor chain, but you've got some room for some other stuff like fenders, maybe a spare sail, so that's pretty good. The boat is cutter rigged, so you've got a staysail, which is really nice for offshore cruising, and also can be safer because you have more options for your sail plan, especially when the winds pick up. Looking aft from the bow, just a beautiful boat. I think she's got that kind of 80s, 90s modern look to her, and I like that a lot. Kind of like a retro spaceship type look. And as a millennial, that definitely resonates with me. Continuing aft, there is a lot of ventilation, but I would appreciate probably just a little bit more passive ventilation. I only see one solar vent right there. Maybe adding a couple more or a dorade here or there would be nice. Looking up the double spreader main mast, it's cutter rigged, like I said before, with the spinnaker pole storage right there on the mast. Very clean, simple, I like it. Continuing aft and through the rod rigging, which I would probably prefer something else given what I've read about it. However, seems to be a topic of debate as to whether rod rigging is safe or not. Either way, on a boat of this age, you're going to be looking at replacing the rigging anyway, just for safety. There is a stack pack with lazy jacks for the main mast. As I said earlier, all the lines go aft to the cockpit, and the life raft storage is right there on the coach roof. Continuing aft, the side decks just for the cockpit could be a bit wider in my opinion. Now above the cockpit is an instrument arch with both solar panels as well as a wind generator up here. There is canvas to cover all of this as well as a dodger, but the boat is obviously in storage mode. It's time to head into the aft cockpit of this boat, and we're going to go straight for the helm station. This is a pretty good sized cockpit for an offshore boat. Relatively comfortable. You don't want something that's too big. You want something that is just big enough and deep enough to be comfortable and safe while you're offshore, and I think it fits the bill for that. You definitely still should be clipped in when you're on watch or at the helm up here, but this is a pretty good sized cockpit, one that's going to be hard to fall out of when you're offshore. The companionway is also raised to help prevent a following sea from accidentally going into the salon. You definitely have good visibility forward and all around the boat, so that's important as well. Now it is time to check out the cockpit storage, and we're gonna start with the very aft lazarette, the aft locker back here, and it's pretty big. It's full beam for what it is, and you've got access to seacocks back here as well that look like they might be, I'm not 100% sure, but might be above the waterline, which would also be a good feature. Now coming up, we're taking a look at the hydro vane, self-steering vane. It has a cover on it, and the propane storage is back here off of the stern rail. Looking back forward, you guys can see again good visibility of the whole boat, of your sails forward in this cockpit. Very nice. And with that, we're going to head forward. You can see all the control lines coming right here to the cockpit, and a relatively large and easy to traverse companionway hatch. And with that, going down below. Now, I'd wager if you've made it this far in the video that you either love cruising boats, are looking to buy one, and or looking to sell one. So check out our new free-to-use marketplace for more cruising yachts just like this one, linked in the description below. Now, let's continue with the interior tour. Stepping down below, just a beautiful, beautiful main salon. Look at this. The beam of the boat is very apparent, especially right here where it's at its most beamy. It's 13-foot beam right here. There is a ton of space to sit, to eat, to lounge, and then to the port of the seating area and salon table is the galley. So, you know, a combined main salon, both a galley and a main salon here. A lot of living is going to be happening right down here in this area. Continuing forward, we're going to head all the way to the V-berth. You're going to find a kind of a technical area up here, as well as that V-berth and a full head. Now that we're up here in the V-berth, a pretty standard V-berth. There's a good amount of storage up there. There could be a little bit more, but again, pretty standard V-berth. The joinery looks great, good quality, in good condition. I would potentially want to add some insulation on the hull here, but other than that, pretty nice V-berth. I love the headliner. I love the cabinets. And then under that V-berth is going to be a little bit of storage and a manual bilge pump, just in case. Turning to starboard is a kind of a technical work area, storage area on the boat. You know, combined space. You need something like this if you are on a cruising boat. You need a place to put your extra sails, your equipment, maybe some spares for the engine, tools, that kind of thing. And then there's a wash basin in here as well. Now, I think you could potentially fit in a washer dryer in here, so it's a good space for that. And then you've kind of got a fold down work table right here to do some projects on. Very nice. But yeah, overall, good use of space. You need storage. You need kind of your garage workroom on a boat for sure, especially if you're a cruiser. Turning to port here is the full head. Now, this is going to be pretty good size head with a sink and separate shower. And there's even a bench right there to sit on to shower if you're at sea. Makes it a lot more stable for you. Or to put your foot up on if you shave your legs, if you do that. Now, forward to that shower, you got a little bit of storage under the sink there. Headliner, same headliner throughout the boat, chain plate access. Very nice. Good size, full head. And it's definitely a luxury to have a separate shower on a boat for a lot of cruisers, so that's awesome. Continuing back into that beautiful main salon, there's no place on the boat where it's just wide open and there's nothing to brace or hold on to. So you can tell this is designed to go offshore, designed to be at sea. You don't want a large salon with nothing to hold on to where you can just fly all over the place. Taking a look at the second head, this is kind of the day head here. It's just a head and a sink, just to have an extra place to do your business. And then looking at the galley here, just a very nice galley. Simple, but functional. There's a fridge, freezer, and a gas range with, I don't think I've ever seen a double oven on a cruising boat before. I could be wrong, but it's very rare. So that's awesome. That's an extra for sure. Great place to cook, prepare meals, you know, everything you need and almost nothing you don't. You've got a little bit of extra here, but this is definitely a good working space for a liveaboard cruiser. Going back aft, we come upon the second head, the day head again. We'll take a little bit more of a look at that now. And, you know, just a simple place to do your business. Got a little bit of storage back here. This would be a good place to come down real quick if you got to hit the head while you're on watch. You don't want to wake up someone else down below, or, you know, it's right next to the companionway, so it's convenient. It's nice to have a second head on a boat, especially of this size, if you're a couple or a small family. And aft of that head is what I think a really cool cabin. It's a great place for guests or kids. I like the design of the pilot berths here. You've got kind of a bunk style, but not really. It's more of like a stair step style right here that goes with the hull. And it would be a good place to sleep, good safe place to sleep. You can't fall out, especially if you're in that bottom bunk. And, you know, good place for the kids until they get older at least. And looking to the port side here, so we just looked at the starboard side aft cabin. On the port side is a combined space, really. There's a forward-facing nav station in the forward section of this cabin here, and a well-equipped forward-facing nav station at that. I think it's a pretty good place for it because while it lacks some visibility outside, you can fix that with technology, but you're kind of away from the main living area. So for a live aboard, maybe someone that works from home, works from their boat, this would also double as an office, and it's a place you can kind of get away, which is great. So I like that. I like the fact that this is kind of its own separate space away from the rest of the boat. Would be quiet, good place to work, good place to navigate from. And then after that is the third cabin with a double berth. So again, this is a lot of accommodation for a 40-foot boat of this size and this vintage. If you can't tell already, I really like it. I understand now why Mads bought the Warrior 38. And then as always, we'll take a quick look at the bilge below the cabin sole here. Take a look at engine access as well. Now, engine access is pretty good. I do believe the side panels on each side of the engine pop out as well. But, you know, for a sailboat of this size, pretty decent. Could be better, but pretty good. Last thing is I do have to mention there is some visible damage that I noticed walking through this boat, so obviously I gotta talk about it. It looks to be some structural damage here on the main bulkhead with some tabbing delamination there. Also, if you notice, obviously the bulkhead was either in two pieces when it was built or cracked into two pieces, so not quite sure. Either way, that's going to have to get repaired. It could be as simple as just grinding out the old tabbing and replacing and reinforcing that tabbing as well as the joint on the bulkhead, or it could be as complicated as the decks, the stringers. So this is always why I recommend getting a good survey and factoring in things like this into, you know, the purchase price as well as what you're willing to take on yourself or hiring the work out. And with that, it's time for the full continuous below decks walkthrough from bow to stern. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I think that this is a great boat for a couple or small family looking to do anything from coastal cruising to potentially sailing the world with the right refit. Obviously, get a survey, but I like this design a lot. Now, this particular boat, unfortunately, has gone off market in the time that it took me to get this video uploaded, so I apologize for that. But I definitely recommend taking a look at Warrior 38 or 40 boats like this one. Now, I'm still going to put broker contact information in the description below as always, as well as what the asking price was when it went off market. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Remember to do all the usual things. And everyone, the Learning the Lines Cruising Yacht Marketplace is now fully live. So before I sign off fully, I just want to remind you all to check that out. It's linked in the description below. You can buy, sell, and or browse boats similar to what I tour on Learning the Lines, all for free. So I'll see you there.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my